All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Monday night, which means it's Better Call Saul night. So welcome to the video. Okay, so we are at season 4, episode 7. It's called Something Stupid. Something that episode is not. This is incredible. This is a great episode. I picked her for the wallpaper this week because I think that even though all the things that are going on in here, I think this is another big example of really how this is kind of her story. Like, I think her arc in this is so much more important than, because we know where Jimmy is headed. We know where he ends up. What we don't know is where she ends up. And I kind of find her story to be pretty much as interesting, if not a little bit more than Jimmy's at times. So let's just jump into this. There's so much to talk about. Holy jeez. Okay, so from just the great beginning with the song, it's just so great. Seeing how they're together. It starts out that black, but that they're on the same schedule. They're on the same page. They're doing the same things. They're with each other completely. And how this starts to just change gradually. It's another great way of doing a time jump that this show does this time. Through the gradual showing of her working with Coakley, Schweigert and Coakley, and branching out with Mesa Verde, and all the branches that she's helping to open, showing her success, and him, Jimmy, selling his phones, his drop phones, with Huel, and just the comparison of like how one person is going down and one's going up, and they're separating slowly but surely from each other, drifting apart, not just as a couple, but just professionally, and just seeing like kind of where it's all headed for them, which is not good. But I mean, that's how it's going to go. It's just how it doesn't happen, and how she's become what she wanted all the way back in season 1, and even in the flashbacks where she was headed, what she wanted as far as her goals. She wanted to be a successful lawyer. She wanted to be part of a practice. She wanted to be a partner. She wanted to be doing what she loves. So she's got all of it. She's got everything. She's got the great bank that she, and then she's able to take care of all these people that she wants to take care of, as a public, helping with public defender cases. And all she'd be missing is Jimmy, being the person that she wants him to be. And then on the other side of it, we see Jimmy just becoming Saul. We got to see the cards for the first time. His first cards that say Saul Goodman on them. I'm still not counting this as him being Saul Goodman. This is just him, to me, starting to branch off from being Jimmy. To me, he doesn't become Saul Goodman until he's got his law practice back and he is going by the name Saul Goodman as a lawyer. You can call it whatever you want. You can say that it starts right now if you feel like it. I don't care. But me personally, I'm waiting for him to actually be Saul Goodman, criminal attorney. But we're seeing how he is he's sliding down to slipping Jimmy. Even worse, he's becoming this alter ego to cell phones so that he can pay for the office that he wants. And I like that you're supposed to probably think it's Kim, even though he wouldn't be trying to sell this to to Kim or whatever. This was clearly somebody else. And it's nice that Huel's in here. It's weird because he looks so much different than he did on Breaking Bad. He's lost a lot of weight. So I guess, but it doesn't really change the character. You could say that in this time before Better Call Saul that he was thinner. And then as he got older, he put on the weight. Tremendous actor, by the way. I know he's a stand-up comedian. I like that he's like, this place would be crap. Like, you need to be in a 40, story high-rise with windows and, when you're not on your boat. Basically saying to Jimmy, this place is a piece of crap. But Jimmy is trying to sell it, still trying to be what, she wants him to be. Even though how his how he goes about doing things is, to make the money by selling, drop phones to criminals. It's just the way he goes about things. The stuff with Hector. Okay, so we're not very far away from Wheelchair and Bell. But it is, you get to see the mouth twitch and the hand going like this and flicking the water so you can check out the nurse's ass. So Hector Salamanca. And when the doctor brings this to Gus, this is just so great. I love this so much. This scene is so great. Again, showing Giancarlo Esposito so great, and just the calculation and everything, that how badly he wants to destroy this man. And when she describes, all his progress, and just he's so quiet and calm, and still we haven't seen his wife or kids. He's making this fancy dinner with nobody around. I still hope we get to see his family at some point, but I guess I shouldn't, mind that much if we don't. But when he sees the video and he sees him like flick the water glass over and just rewinds it and watches it and sees that's Hector. We were wondering if he was in there. That's Hector. And that look on his face as he just kind of slowly smiles, and the realization that he knows that he's still in here, and then tells her, because he gave her this clinic, he set her up. Because that's what Gus does. He sets people up, kind of like how with Gale, how he gave him, he gives all these scholarships out to people. He takes care of people. Money's no expense. I mean, drug money, you make a lot of money selling drugs. And he spends it in a very smart way. And telling her that your work here is done, let's temper our expectations, because he's got Hector exactly where he wants him. He doesn't want him to get better. He doesn't want him to be able to talk. He doesn't want him to be able to walk. He doesn't want him to be able to do anything. He's got just enough of him floating around in his brain, trapped in this body that can't do anything. And now he's stuck there, but he knows he's in there. And so now he's his little plaything, just like the animal that he caught years ago. So it's just so cool to see this all start to play out. And we got Mike with the Germans. It's amazing the work that you get to see the results of all their work. You get to see the beginnings of the super lab, how that's all working out. With the major drawback of the guy knocking over the support beam, for a scene that's just a support beam falling over, it was pretty intense, because I was like, oh shit, is this place gonna just cave in on these guys? I like that Mike is learning German. And these guys you can tell that they're climbing the walls. They're having a hard time. They've been there they said, I'm not quite sure how much time went by, so it's like 8 months, right? Because Jimmy says there's only 1 month left. So I think at the time of it was like the last episode or so, he said he had 9 months. So I think it's like 8 months have gone by. Mike has learned German. I like the kind, with him and the guys, he comes to check him out, and he's realizing that, these guys are looking kind of ragged, kind of at their wits' end. But of course, their boss is trying to, they're all good boys, and he's trying to still, talk it up. It's not bad, but Mike wants to get rid of Kai, who is their demolition guy. And I'm kind of disappointed right now, because we haven't seen anybody bitch slap Kai. At least that. But what are you going to do? But he, talking about what would it be like if we got rid of him, it'd be not good. We also learned what Mike's name, Airmantraut, means in German. I guess I could have looked that up any time, but it means, world-class strength? That's crazy. Mike's just like, yeah, okay. Classic Mike, as usual, just kind of underplaying anything that has to do with him. And then we have the scene with the cop showing up at where Jimmy's selling the phones, and he's right, of course. Where did you find this card? He found it on a drug dealer who got sprung because you're selling these drop phones. Jimmy like playing it up that, I have a right to be here. I have a permit. I mean, look, Jimmy's not wrong. He's just not right. What he's doing is sketchy at best and willingly participating in what he knows is being used for crimes. He's feeling a need and he's able to justify it in his own head. That, everybody gets, whatever. The cop, even though, like when the cop starts to press him and Jimmy starts to push back, the cop's like, whoa, like he wasn't meaning it to go where he's going. Like, Jimmy's starting, what are you going to do? Pull me over, throw something in my car. And I don't think the cop was ever going to get that far. I think it was just going to be a little less polite. And this is when Huel walks up with his headphones on and not knowing who this guy is, hits him upside the head with a bag of sandwiches. And now Huel's going to, is arrested for assault. And, Jimmy trying to talk his way out of it, like, hey, come on, I'll never be out here again. But the cop now has him over a barrel, like, screw you. Like, you told me to screw myself, now I'm telling you to screw off. And so, Huel's possibly going to jail, probably going to jail. And that conversation that they have. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about real quickly the party. That Schweigert and Coakley had, and how Jimmy kind of seeing how big her office is, measuring the feet that he did in his office, seeing how much greater she's got it than he, why would she want to work with him, and then his attitude, because he's clearly been drinking a lot. Sorry, there's like a little fly flying around in here. It's bugging the hell out of me. So he kind of like, he was encouraged by the guy to like talk about where they should go on their like corporate retreat. And it, gets bigger and bigger and the guy's like, you think big. And he does. But he kind of starts pushing it to where the guy's getting annoyed with him. Like, why are you kind of like, I feel like Jimmy's intentionally trying to piss this guy off. I think Jimmy's just mad because he realizes she's never going to work with him. And the car ride home where it gets, a little tense until he puts on what I believe is the Breeders. It sounded like the Breeders. But that scene is important to what's happening later on, where she's, seeing what's happening with Jimmy. He's so close to getting his law practice back, yet he is sliding really fast down to where he's becoming what she was afraid of, seeing what he's capable of, and that he hasn't learned anything since Chuck, which is why when he has that conversation with Huel, he's like, look, I want you to don't skip bail, because Huel wants to bounce, he wants to take off, and Jimmy trying to tell him, like, look, we can figure this out, no jail time, I promise you, no jail time, we'll work it out. And then when he goes to Kim, and to me, this is like pretty much the death knell for their relationship, is this conversation that he has with her, where it's not over, but it's over. Like nobody's been, leaving anybody yet. Nobody's moving out of any apartments or having a conversation yet. But to me, this conversation is pretty much marks the kind of unofficial end of them. Because when they're describing what he wants to do to get Huel off, it's pretty unethical. Everything he's talking about doing. And just the look on her face as she's listening to him. First, when she tells him that you're selling drop phones to drug dealers, that right there, it's like, and he just pushes it away. Like, don't worry about that. Just, look over here, like do a little misdirection, a little deflecting. But that already, just like, what are you doing? And they don't even get to talk about that, because he just goes into like talking about the cop's DUI, and we're gonna get him sloppy drunk, and we're gonna try to antagonize him. We're gonna orchestrate things, the same way he orchestrated the thing that happened with Chuck in the courtroom, in the court case, showing that he hasn't learned, and he's willing to break all these like ethical rules. You know, and he's not breaking any laws. He's just doing things very, very shady that she doesn't want anything to do with. She's trying to separate. She's trying to become, you know, better than what happened with Chuck. She's finally got everything, and she can see now that he is in worse shape than she probably thought before. And so when she just like sits back in the chair, doesn't, you know, she's just kind of not listening, like just gets up, tells him, you know, I'm going to look into this, give me the cases like this, we're going to do this right, we're going to do this by the book, we're not going to do it your way. And when she kind of walks out, or has her person come in, her whatever, the chick's Viola comes in, and as she's closing the door, it made me think of The Godfather, but in reverse. Like in a good way, like Diane Keaton, you know, getting the door closed on her at the end of Godfather. Kind of felt like it's kind of like, to me, that's what made me think of it. I don't know why. One person closing the door on somebody else forever, like for the future, their relationship or whatever. So when she goes to what I'm assuming is like an assistant DA or somebody like that, and they talk about, and she's hitting her with the law, she's throwing things in her face about how she's kind of hypocritical, of how she's gone after these other people who've done worse things to cops, and instead of getting, you know, hitting a guy with a bag of sandwiches who was not even hurt, and she's getting all these other guys off with, you know, 5 months probation and no jail time, and this guy who, just because he has some priors with pickpocketing and stuff, and knew that, you know, that was the cop who arrested him, they're going to throw the book at this guy. And she's right to like throw this at the lady's face. But when she says that the only witness is a scumbag, disbarred lawyer, oof. And she does, like, you don't know the whole story, but that was like a punch in the fucking guts, because somebody else slapped her in the face with the realism. They don't know that her and Jimmy or whatever, or maybe they do and it just implied, but just crack across the face, punch in the gut, you know, somebody else pointing out what Jimmy is. He's a disgraced lawyer. Scumbag, I guess, yeah. In a way. I love him. So it's kind of like, hey, he's my scumbag, damn it. So when, you know, she goes and tells him he's going to do jail time, you know, you got to go talk to him, you got to back my play. You got to make sure that he doesn't jump bail. We have to do this right. And Jimmy basically is like, well, I'm going to do things my way, and he takes off. And then she goes to, like, I don't know, like a place to get wherever you buy a whole bunch of fucking like Office Depot or whatever, buying markers and crayons and pencils and all this stuff. And I don't know what the hell is going on. Why is she buying all these things? And then she calls Jimmy and says, I have a better way. And they end it there. Oh my God, they don't really usually do that to us. So I am like, I'm not mad. I'm fine. But come on. What's the plan? So I had to wait and watch the trailer for next week, which again, in classic AMC form, gives us everything out of context. So, you know, I love them. I love them for those trailers. Those are the way you make trailers. Okay, every movie trailer in the world needs to watch AMC. Everybody plans on making a trailer. If you don't want people to know what the hell is happening, watch AMC trailers. They are fantastic at misleading you. So anyway, fantastic episode. Kim, really just more standout. I don't know if she was nominated, but I guess you can't get nominated for this season. So hopefully for next season, she definitely gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress in a Drama. Another fantastic episode, everybody. I want to thank everybody that watches these videos. I want to thank everybody for all the support that I get on this channel. We hit 275 subscribers. We've gained we did over almost 100, but something like 75, almost 80 subscribers in a month and a half. So I just want to thank everybody so much from the depths of my soul for watching these videos and supporting my channel and commenting with all the great comments that I get. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. I don't know what I'm pointing at when I always do that. Hit the bell. That bell. What bell? So that's it for this week. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews saying we will be back next week for episode 8 of Better Call Saul. We've got The Expanse I just put out, episode 2 of season 2 on that, and Orphan Black I just put a new review up. So there's lots of stuff to watch. BoJack Horseman, Atypical season 2. And I plan on seeing The Predator sometime this week. I would like to review that for the channel as well. So anyway, again, Rob, Smirking Gun Reviews. See you next week. Have a great Monday night. Bye.